It's not that difficult to make the best gaming smartphone. Throw in all the latest tech with the largest memory, storage, screen, battery, and you're pretty much done. However, it takes a lot of thoughtful decisions to fine-tune the ultimate gaming smartphone at a justifiable price. The ROG Phone 6 might not have the extra features of the Pro model, but I don't think you're missing out on anything because this phone is awesome. Let's check it out. This is the ROG Phone 6, the 5th iteration of their ultimate gaming smartphone. It features the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 mobile platform, Qualcomm Adreno 730 GPU, improved thermal structure, 6000 mAh battery, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, stereo front-facing speakers, and a tri-microphone array with ozone noise reduction technology. This phone is feature-heavy but weighs in at only 239 grams. The variant I received is the 12GB memory with 256GB storage in Phantom Black. The phone also comes in other variants such as 16GB of memory, 512GB of storage, and a Storm White finish. Now, let's take a look around the phone because there is a lot going on. Starting with the front, you have a massive 6.78-inch Samsung AMOLED HDR10 Plus display with a 2448 by 1080 resolution, a maximum refresh rate of 165Hz, a 1 millisecond response time, and a maximum brightness of 1200 nits. This display is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. Now the features don't stop there. You'll also find a 12-megapixel Sony IMX663 sensor at the top and an in-display fingerprint sensor at the bottom. The fingerprint sensor is snappy and in a great position for single-hand use. Speaking of single-hand use, the ROG Phone 6 features one-handed mode that is accessible via a swipe-down gesture. This will be very handy unless your fingers are 7 inches long. Moving to the back, you start seeing some signs of a gaming phone. I absolutely love the design, especially the illuminated RGB logo. It's gamerish enough without going full-blown crazy. The other notable part of the back is the camera array on top, which consists of a 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 main sensor, a 13-megapixel wide camera, and a macro camera. Now the sides of the phone is where you have a few more gaming features. Starting with what I think is the most mandatory feature of a gaming phone, dual USB ports. I'm sure all of us have come across a situation where we want to play and charge at the same time. If you have a typical straight cable, it's gonna hurt your hands so badly. A simple fix is a 90-degree cable, but it's not perfect. The ROG Phone 6 has another charging port at the side, which makes this phone extremely comfortable for landscape gaming while charging or other use cases such as casting the display using a capture card. The other awesome gaming feature is the new Air Trigger 6. We'll take a deeper look at this later. And lastly, you'll also find the usual stuff such as SIM card tray, power button, volume knobs, and surprisingly in 2022, a headphone port. Before we move on any further, let me share what else you get inside the box besides the phone. You have an ROG gamer card that also doubles as an interactive AR experience when setting up the phone, a SIM ejector tool, a plastic case, a 65-watt fast charger, a USB-C cable, and lastly the user guide. This is the part where I usually run some benchmarks and maybe compare the scores online, but we're not gonna do that because honestly, for a gaming phone like this, it's gonna perform extremely well. And even if you compare it against other results from better phones such as the ROG 6 Pro, a difference in score doesn't translate to anything noticeable in real-world performance. Instead, I want to take this time to talk about my gaming experience and the little things that I like about this phone. Let's start with the general gaming experience. Throughout my time testing this phone, I did not encounter any gaming-related issues such as lagging, crashes, and overheating. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 mobile platform and the overclocked Adreno 730 GPU enables the ROG Phone 6 to deliver the best and most efficient gaming performance. Paired with the revamped GameCool 6 cooling system, heat will not be an issue. Now, GameCool 6 isn't just a magical word I'm gonna throw at you, it's actually made up of 6 different components. Firstly is the optional Aero Active Cooler 6. This is the only external thermal structure. So the Aero Active Cooler 6 is a thermoelectric AI cooling system that features 4 physical gaming buttons. Moving on, we have the centered SoC, which allows for heat to be transferable evenly to all corners of the device. To facilitate the heat transfer will be the enlarged graphite sheet and vapor chamber. Lastly is the dual 3000 mAh battery design, which enables lower charge and discharge temperatures. Using the 65-watt fast charger, you'll get from 0 to 100 in 42 minutes. TLDR, games run smooth and overheating will not be an issue. Now let's look into sound and haptics. I was thoroughly impressed by how loud and accurate the dual front-facing speakers are. It's very easy to tell which side of the sound is coming from. Paired with the immersive high-end X-axis vibration motor, games on the ROG Phone 6 are on a different dimension. Here's a sample gameplay with the smartphone speakers. Next is the Game Genie dashboard. This can be easily accessible by swiping in from the top corners of the screen. At the top of the Game Genie dashboard, you have the sub-panel that can be switched between real-time device info and scenario profiles. For scenario profiles, there are 4 to choose from. X mode is the best performance for gaming. It changes the settings for network, display and touch sensitivity while increasing CPU, GPU, RAM and temperature threshold. Dynamic mode is the default mode that is optimized for daily use. Ultra durable mode is a power saving mode. It basically restricts everything that was enabled by X mode. Lastly, you have advanced mode, which lets you customize the settings. Now let's look at some cool features accessible from the Game Genie dashboard. On the left side, you have the option to change the refresh rate, silence all notifications, which I find very helpful when streaming, and a bypass charging mode. This will protect your battery life and reduce unnecessary heat buildup when gaming. On the right side, you have the screen recording feature and the air trigger settings. As promised, let's take a closer look. The new AirTrigger 6 ultrasonic sensors support a wide variety of gestures, from the simple tap that we are all familiar with to new features such as dual action, press and lift, and gyroscope aiming. I don't know about you, but my brain can't really process anything other than a simple tap. But if you can make full use of the AirTrigger 6, it will without a doubt give you the competitive edge when gaming. I've set my left trigger to scoping and the right trigger to firing. It's easy and works perfectly for me in PUBG Mobile. By the way, let me know below what you use your AirTriggers for. The last thing I want to touch on for this gaming smartphone are the cameras. It's not really the top priority for a gaming smartphone, but that doesn't mean the ROG Phone 6 has bad cameras. The selfie camera takes okay photos. There's a fair bit of smoothing happening by default, and if I crank up that beauty filter to maximum, I just end up looking like a vampire. Now let's move to the back cameras and also the shooting modes. We have slow-mo, time-lapse, video, photo, portrait, pano, light trail, and some other settings such as pro and macro mode. Here's a sample shot taken using the telephoto and wide camera. It was a gloomy day and I think the camera did pretty well capturing that. If we compare it with a photo taken using my iPhone 13, I must say that I actually prefer the naturally vibrant colors produced from the ROG Phone 6. For the macro camera, it's a nice to have, but we all knew that it was never gonna be that great. And just for the heck of it, here's an 8K video of my wife jumping in the pool. You be the judge of the quality. So let's wrap things up. In short, I think this is the gaming smartphone to get in 2022. Performance aside, I'm really impressed with the thermal management, and the secondary USB-C port is so helpful. You could say that this phone has just the right amount of everything that you need to play any mobile games comfortably. On top of that, I dare to say that this is even a great daily driver. You've got a beautiful screen, great camera selection, excellent battery, in-display fingerprint sensor, water resistance, and so much more. I know I've skipped over a handful of other features of the phone, but I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to focus on the gaming and other aspects that make this phone so good. If you're interested in getting the ROG Phone 6, all the purchase links will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check me out on Facebook where I'll be streaming with the ROG Phone 6. That's it for this video. Bye!